Hey, Culture Raid. Thanks for being patient as you got forwarded over to the Ascended Art podcast. And people who've been watching Culture this week probably know that StreamYards has been being goofy with audio and things lately. And so I had to do a quick switcheroo of browsers to get mine working proper. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay and there's not any audio lag.
Yeah, I don't think it's a StreamYards. Well, I guess it might be a compatibility issue, but I have noticed Opera GX every once in a while likes to get persnickety
Which is
about camera or microphone usage.
and that's funny because I was I was told that Opera would be the better one to use for things to work. But
I mean, I don't think it's the better one to use for things to work, but I think it is the superior browser in every other conceivable way.
gotcha. All right, well, hopefully everybody's ready to go for a fun night. We if you read the description, neither one of us has gone and suffered through the Hunger Games, the new Hunger Games movie. So if we're going to comment on it, it's going to be completely blind and just whatever we think anyway. So it's probably going to not be in depth. I think everyone on Comics Division channel did that last night and suffered through it. So, oh, good to hear. We sound fine to the lovely Bride of Slender. So that's awesome.
Wow. We're gonna give our take on the Hunger Games. I can wrap that up in about 2 sentences.
I like the idea of giving a take on a movie that we have no interest in and have not seen. And
no, I've got a great take for it. I can give you a full review right now.
What's that? All right, go ahead. This is.
Didn't they make a Hunger Games like several years ago?
Yeah, they did 4.
I thought that one was pretty good.
They did 4. Yeah.
Like I don't see a need to make an. Like it used to be you didn't make a new movie for quite some time, but nowadays it's like, oh well, we made a Hunger Game like 5 years ago, right? That's enough time. We can make another one now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only. I think it's mainly because it's the only real functional franchise outside of John Wick that Lionsgate has.
Well, here's an idea for functional franchises: try something new. Jesus.
No, yeah, they're not going to do that.
No, we got to go with the stuff that we already know is successful because it's only 90% likely to fail at this point.
I mean, 90%, like, that's only 9 out of 10 times it'll fail.
So. Yeah. Like a new IP would probably fail like 8 times out of 10. So we should probably go with the safer bet and do the 9 out of 10, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think that, I mean, I get that it was the writer of the book series came on and did actually write the new one.
Yeah, I don't care. Like there was nothing wrong with the one they already made.
Yeah, previews for the Hunger Games came in approximately 1 million less than the Marvels. Not a good start. No, it didn't. Which, yeah, you know what? Let's go. This is good for the topic. One of the topics, which for the Marvels, because neither one of us tortured ourselves to watch that. Look at that. This is a chart, a comparison chart, a handy dandy comparison chart. Slender.
Ooh, pretty.
We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was a failure. The Eternals, which was a failure. The Flash, which was a failure. And The Marvels, which has just opened. Now, I think we all, because it's fairly recent, these movies are all within basically a year or two. Look at where The Marvels is coming in.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a trend with this graph.
Yeah, I mean, we tore The Flash a new one. if you remember.
Oh
I
yeah.
said that the movie wasn't so bad, but it was like it was indifferent. I didn't have it was like a 4 or 5, right? And I completely didn't care to want to ever see it again. And that movie made $55 million opening. It's famous because Bad Take Bojan here, who is here, hey Bad Take Bojan, made her first video off Sporking saying that Blue Beetle would outdo the Flash opening weekend, which it did
Oof.
even come close. But the Marvels didn't even come close either. Because look at that chart. Look at the Flash, which is the yellow line.
Well, and let's broaden this out a bit, and I'll go back to my whole little spiel about this new Hunger Games movie that they've decided is going to be so great. Um, everybody's sick of this shit. It's just apply the formula, do nothing new, take no risks, try nothing. Like you and I both we sung the praises of Five Nights at Freddy's. And in all honesty, I mean, if you want to be totally honest, it's a kids movie and it's not even like a great kids movie. I will probably I've already at this point forgotten a lot of that movie, right?
Mhm.
But I was excited to watch it because at least it was gonna be different, you know? At least we were gonna try something that hadn't been done 15 effing times already.
Yeah.
Let's do another superhero movie. We're just throwing a different coat of paint on it.
But I just want to. So I scrolled down, and these are the actual numbers, not just on a chart, to point
Right.
out the epic futility of the Marvels. Because at this point, we're like 1 week in, all the official box office numbers. The Eternals was at 91 million. The Flash was at 72 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania was at 135 million. And the Marvels hasn't even equaled what Flash did its opening weekend after an entire week of playing. This movie legit has a shot, in my opinion, to not break $100 million US.
I don't think it will.
Because if you look at the possible drop off, because you've got Hunger Games coming in to drink its milkshake. You got
You-
Disney's Wish, which is the week coming up
Throw
next
throw that
Wednesday.
throw that all out the window. Throw that all out the
Yep,
window.
yep.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and Thanksgiving is not a movie week. It's a
Actually, it
football
is.
week.
No. Thanksgiving is a huge movie week.
Most people watch football.
I worked at a movie theater for a decade. Thanksgiving is a huge movie theater week.
Oh, maybe over here on the East Coast because you guys are all fucking losers.
You know that like most of the U.S. population lives on the East Coast.
I mean, okay. I'm telling you, in the Midwest, everybody gets together and watches football. That's what they do.
Okay, well, football gets watched. It used to be 2 games on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the Thanksgiving week happened. Especially Black Friday was absolutely huge at the movie theaters because people would go take shopping breaks or drop their kids off while they went shopping and let the movie theater be the babysitter.
Gross. People are weird.
People are weird.
You know what I
Let's
like
see.
to do on Friday? I like to recover from all the food I ate.
Yeah. Tina says, I think the star power alone brought in more money for the Eternals because that movie really stuck. Who were the stars in the Eternals?
Or better question, who were the Eternals?
Oh,
I'd never even
wait.
heard of them.
Oh, look at this. You're getting school because Tina is also as Midwestern as you. We always went to the movies on Black Friday.
I never went to, I don't know. Nobody in my family ever went to the movies on Black Friday.
Well,
Black Friday
maybe
was rest and recovery day.
maybe you guys must have taken Thanksgiving way seriouser than
We
Tina.
did. Turkey, deviled eggs, stuffing, mashed potatoes, a bunch of shit I don't like those cranberry things, like that cranberry sauce and
What's the one with the little marshmallows and that they
candied
toasted?
yams. Those are
And
disgusting.
yeah, like who figured out to put like marshmallows on yams?
Yeah, let's put marshmallows on sweet potatoes and add some fucking cinnamon. Gross.
I've never gotten that one, and I was never a fan of the gelatinous canned cranberry sauce.
Nope, hate that stuff too.
But my wife has started making like legit cranberry, like from fresh cranberries.
That's probably pretty good.
That is delicious on like with turkey. So I understand why cranberry sauce became a Thanksgiving thing. I do not in any way get the like jelly version of it now,
No.
because the fresh stuff is delicious. And you know what I really love is when sandwich shops will make the Thanksgiving sandwiches where they take the carved turkey, put a little stuffing on it, like like put the whole thing onto one sub roll. It's a delicious sandwich. It's ridiculous. You feel like you're gaining 20 pounds just eating it, but it is fantastic. But I think that this debacle the Marvels had a 250 to $300 million budget. Uh, we got Brahma in here with the traditional mashed potatoes and turkey gravy. That's
I do
quality.
like mashed potatoes and turkey gravy.
And now, when you did you use the like mixed gravy, or did you have like the cook, your mom or your dad or whoever, making like the actual? I'm going to do the gravy from the drippings of the
Oh, we
turkey.
do the gravy from the turkey.
Ooh, I see. I don't, because there's a time and a place for both. Because it's the same way with stuffing, right? Stuffing that you cook in the turkey can be delicious, but then
Okay,
at the
well, I
same
always
time,
chose
I
the gravy
enjoyed
from the turkey.
stovetop. Yeah,
But that
and
being said, there was also that darker gravy that you make from like the packets or whatever. Like we had multiple gravies because at least when I was younger, like the entire family came in, some from the Chicagoland area for the weekend. And like so we were feeding like probably 40, 50 people.
yep. Oh, we got Eclate saying that in the South, where he grew up, always watch football on Black Friday, go to the movies on Christmas. Christmas is another huge movie day that you wouldn't
Yeah, I
expect.
remember a lot of people would do movies around Christmas. I just it strikes me. I guess here's the thing, right? I grew up in a very small town. The nearest movie theater was an hour away.
That might explain it.
Like there used to be one in town, but I guess it closed down before I was born. Oh, you had to go to Iowa to go to a movie theater.
Here's something. I think that me and you might have a very different opinion of Star versus Tina. Because the only one on the list that I think might qualify as a full on star, and she's past her prime, is Angelina Jolie. Because Gemma Chan
Yeah.
is not one. Salma Hayek has never actually opened a movie on her own ever. She's just been hot for when she was younger and stayed pretty hot for a lot of years, but she's never really. I can't even think. The only movie I remember her actually being a lead in, where she was supposed to be the draw, was Fools Rush In with Matthew Perry, that romantic comedy, and it didn't make money. Because even Desperado, Antonio Banderas was the draw, not her. Uh,
Right.
you know, so, and then Kamal Nanjiani is not a star. No, he's not putting butts in the seats. Sorry. And Kit
Well, and
Harington and Richard Madden from Game of Thrones. Nobody from Game of Thrones puts butts in the seats, including,
mm,
so especially Amelia Clark, who has bombed so many times in movies.
I guess you could say that like Jason Momoa kind of did, but like if Aquaman is any indication, he's not carrying the same star power that they did back in the day. But that's kind of the thing. Like the age of the internet kind of killed the age of the star
I
because
blame,
we
yeah,
started to learn who these people really are,
that
and
that's what it was. Yeah, once they were able
that
to
didn't
open
help.
their mouth and talk, it
Yeah,
was
once they thought they should tell me how to think and feel about things, it got real ugly.
yeah, if I was gaining any kind of success as an actor in Hollywood, I would immediately delete all my social media and just let myself be
That would
mysterious.
contribute to your star power.
It
Um,
would.
it's why a lot of the older people, the people from prior to the internet age, they have all been like, hey, maybe you guys shouldn't be expressing all these political views, blah, blah, et cetera, and so forth. Then they get canceled, but it's like, that guy was a bigger star than you'll ever be. You probably should have listened to him.
Yeah, those big Linux laptops correctly. They didn't know how to keep their mouth shut. Yep, they just and one of so when you had in the old movie star days, right? The only way to really see the movie stars was to go watch them in the movies they were in.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to see them so much on social media. I think that actually takes away from your box office draw because why do you need to go see The Rock in the movie when you can just listen to him on Joe Rogan or watch him on social media posting Instagram videos or doing all like what is making you feel like you need to spend 5, 10, $15 depending on time of day of the week, and type of theater to watch his movie because you enjoy seeing The Rock when you can get your fix just on social media for free. It takes it away. I think it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, and these celebrities should realize that. Like they're so focused on I need to have this giant following. Like you know who, and he gets in trouble a little bit, but at least Chris Pratt sort of restricts his social media where he doesn't really do very much on it. He does a message every month or two, mainly promoting his movies, and then he'll do something for Veterans Day and all this, and they still kill him
Yeah, but
for that.
they don't like what Chris Pratt has to say. And I'll push back a little because like, seeing him on Joe Rogan or seeing him on their stupid little, make their stupid little tweets and TikToks and everything. It's not the same as going and seeing them in a movie, but I'm not going to say you're totally wrong either. Like, because you can get that fixed to a certain extent. So the bar for quality needs to come up, but instead it's going down. Like, you better be making a damn good movie if I'm going to come see you, because it's not like I don't get opportunities to do that all the time. But they're not making damn good movies. They're making damn bad movies.
Which reminds me, am I going to be able to drag you out to go see Napoleon next week?
I have like zero interest in seeing that movie, but
I think Napoleon looks great. Napoleon.
Yeah, I don't give a
Europe.
shit about Napoleon. I never have.
I mean, it's still
like great. You're making a movie about a general who kind of became a tyrant and is not that very. He's like not an interesting person. I know a lot of people think he is, but it's like no, he was kind of just a dick.
I mean, I feel like there's a little bit interesting about Napoleon. Any person who rises from from the base level he started to running an empire is got some kind of historical significance worth looking at.
You can tell me Hitler's interesting next, bigot.
Wow. I mean, let's focus on how Elon Musk is anti-Semitic first. Because let's cancel him, not us, not me. Maybe Chad can back me up. Like, does Chad feel like there might be some entertainment value to the historical rise of Napoleon as the emperor? Not to mention Elizabeth Kirby is in it as Josephine, and apparently she is objectified often in the movie. You know who Elizabeth Kirby is, right?
No.
Did you watch the last couple Mission Impossible movies?
Do you think I watched them?
Vanessa Kirby, I should say Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
Yeah, because I pay attention to her name more than anything else.
Pretty sure we discussed this once upon a time. Mission Impossible is one of those series I just don't follow. I don't know. I think I've seen them, or I've seen parts of them, but like I've never been interested.
This is where I bet Brahma would back me up because I believe he is also a fan of Vanessa Kirby.
Well, Brahma backs you up on a lot of things you guys are both wrong about.
I'm trying to find. She was in Hobbs and Shaw. Did you watch Hobbs and Shaw?
Nah.
Do you? That's right. You don't watch a lot of our entertainment stuff, do you?
Not really. I'm more into books and video games. Some of the superhero movies, yeah, I've followed them. I watched a lot of older movies, but I don't know. For the past 10 years or so, most new movies hold no interest for me.
Let's
Like
see.
even
All
the
right.
ones we do watch that I end up liking, I promptly forget about because they have no impact.
Let's see. As Tina points out that she is likely the cast she's supposed to be hasn't been announced yet. Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, okay.
You see? You see? I mean, she's a very attractive lady.
She's pretty in that very these are the you know, the normal standards of beauty. I don't know.
Are
She's
you
pretty.
now? I mean, if I slap some elf ears on her, you
She'd be
would
a
be
lot
down.
prettier.
See, Brahma's on my side. Kirby is hot. She
Of
is.
course he is.
You say that like, come on, just we don't agree on
I'm just
everything.
saying, with as many times as you and Brahma turn on me, I start to wonder what kind of relationship you two really have.
Oh, this show's fun. This is what happens when we don't have any entertaining topics that like
Yeah,
really
there's just
engage
like
us.
nothing to talk about this week.
Well, I do have one that I thought you might like, uh, which is they've pretty much they've canceled the KOTOR remake.
Good.
Which I am not unhappy about because if they weren't gonna just update the graphics and maybe get the control like KOTOR, I love KOTOR, but the controls could have been tighter. And the graphics could be updated. The
Yeah,
camera could
but the
work better,
controls could have been tighter, could be said for a lot of games from that era. And it
which is
wasn't a
why, yeah,
problem.
I know. But my point is, if you're gonna KOTOR was otherwise story wise and game and fun,
Yeah, nothing needs
perfect.
to be updated for
Yeah,
a modern audience. It was good.
all you need to do is do the graphics and the control, and get the you can get the camera to work better, you can get the controls to work better, and then you update the graphics, and that game would be a top 5 selling game. And you get a whole new generation. This is where it's crazy. Like you've got a problem where you're not getting younger people into Star Wars. KOTOR could be a gateway drug because it's such a good game. You could get the gamer segment in. People could play it on stream so that you get a whole big segment watching it. And what did they do? They decided that instead they needed to start making it for the modern audience. It's so stupid. So yeah, I'm actually happy that it's canceled because I knew they were just going to screw it up. Like low spec Linux over here, Knights of the Woke Republic remake canceled. Thank God. I like the turn based. Like I'm not saying turn based combat needs to go away, but I think the controls on KOTOR could be improved pretty easily.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I know some people don't like turn-based combat. Okay, then these games aren't for you. But I don't like when you take a game that traditionally has turn-based combat and you try to turn it into action combat. Because I don't know, it messes the whole thing up.
I'm a fan. Like I for your RPG style games, I think turn based combat works because it kind of it's historically the thing that you do with it, and it just seems because you want to give everybody in your party like that. I mean, I really even enjoyed South Park: The Stick of Truth, which was turn based combat. I mean, you can put turn based combat in a lot of different environments, and it's still fun and good. I'm not one of these people who thinks it all has to be hack and slash style. I
No,
mean,
but they're going that route. Like, the Final Fantasy VII remake suffered from that. And don't get me wrong, the combat in that game was good, but as a result, it just felt like it wasn't even the same game. So, and I mean, in a lot of ways, it wasn't. Remake is a bit of a loose term with that one.
true. Yeah, I mean, it should be more cash grab. Square Enix cash grab.
Oh no, it was pretty good. I mean, it was well worth the money. But it's not a remake in that, and you kind of like anyone who's played the game will notice this, but like there are several points in chapter 1 of that remake where things don't play out exactly the same way that they did in the original. It's almost like they're making a remake, but certain characters in play know that this is a remake and are taking advantage, if that makes any sense. Like there's some weird fourth wallage going on. So I'm actually really curious to see what happens in chapter 2. But the combat just isn't as engaging for me, and it's action combat. But here's the thing, right? In the original Final Fantasy VII, I controlled all 3 characters in the fight. In these action ones, it's like, oh, we'll have an AI just make this character run around with their thumb up their ass doing fuck all, and you get to control one character. And if you want that one over there to stop running around with their thumb up their ass, you can switch to them to make them do something specific, and then switch back to your main character. At which point they will promptly go back to running around with their thumb up their ass. It's like, yeah, this isn't the same.
No, let's see. We got low spec Linux says Shadowrun Returns and Shadowrun Dragonfall, good turn-based RPGs.
I don't know. I think I have one of those in my Steam library. I can't remember.
Let's see. Amelia Clark's Scroll Arm. I was John. Okay.
Oh yeah, I have Shadowrun Returns. But I got it hoping it'd play like the old Shadowrun on the Super Nintendo, and it was a little different, so I didn't get into it. I might have to go back to that if it's good. I mean, I buy a lot of games just because they're on sale on Steam, and the trailer looked kind of cool, and then I never play them.
Steam has one of the best models of business I've ever seen, because they run these sales that are so enticing that you can't say no, and then you build up this game library that you never play, but you paid for.
No, because there'll be this $40 game on there, and I'll watch the trailer, and I'll be like, that looks pretty good. And then it'll be like, hey, by the way, we saw you had this game on your wish list, and it's 80% off. You can get it for $6 right now. And I'm like, well, I'd be an idiot not to buy it. I'll play it at some point.
It's like, it's such a good sale. I really can't not do this. I would be, I mean, what am I, like, how am I going to say no to that? And then you buy it, and I've got stuff on my Steam, and I don't even have a computer that can run these games.
But you bought them for that day when you do have a computer
because they were only like $3. Let's see. Dragonfall is better. Shadowrun Hong Kong just did not keep my attention.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's not even just a game. Like you go to buy one game and you're like, I've wanted this game for a while. I'm so glad it's on sale. And then you're like, ooh, but they've got this package deal where I could get this game and then these other 2 games that the developer makes, and they look okay too. And I save another $10 if I buy all 3 of them for 20 instead of one of them for 8.
We got Dungeon Siege 2 was a great game. Apparently, I even like the bad AI when your donkey with all your best equipment will wander off. Oh, that's a pretty bad AI choice if all your equipment would just go away. I don't know if I would be. I mean, I guess it's not as bad and frustrating as like getting just wrecked in Dark Souls or Elden Ring, I suppose. But
I beat Elden Ring.
How many times have you beaten it already?
I finished one playthrough. I'm working on my second, third, and fourth kind of in tandem. Because I got 3 characters going.
You can play your Steam games on GeForce Now. It's a game streaming service, some of them. Yeah, that's where games are going to be going. You're not going to have to invest in the equipment. They're going to just stream to your computer. And I can't wait for that day, because then I won't have to worry about it. Hey, Brahma. Welcome to the party.
Up? Hey, Brahma.
How are you guys?
Apparently, Slender is going to be concerned that we're going to team up on him by pointing out that Vanessa Kirby's hot, and he shouldn't complain.
Vanessa Kirby is hot.
Yeah, I wasn't saying she wasn't hot. I said, yeah, she looks very traditionally attractive. I had no idea who the hell she was and didn't care. And seeing her didn't make me care.
And this goes back to me trying to get him to come see Napoleon next week because work is going to be slow. I'll be leaving, be able to just go out on a Wednesday night, watch a movie. Why not?
I haven't decided if I'm going to watch it yet.
I'm on holiday next week, so. Well, I work on Monday and Tuesday, but the rest of the week I've taken off.
Nice. Let's see. So I was doing that on a Pentium Lappy before I got the present equipment. Yeah. Speed running Dark Souls in under 2 hours. I've seen people do that kind of stuff.
I cannot speed run.
You're not built for speed running. You want to just you want to just take things out, do it.
I'm the opposite of a speedrunner. I'm a completionist.
Yeah.
I like to do all the things. I like to get distracted. I like to explore. I like to find stuff. I like to take it slow. I'm not a speedrunner.
When you played Zelda, were you the kind of guy who had to break every jar in the room?
Yes.
Let's see. Watching Napoleon 100%. I think it looks good. I think it looks entertaining. I think Vanessa Kirby being objectified throughout the movie, according to some reviews, has made me want to watch it more than even that before.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard that part. If that's the case.
Well, I guess now you want to go watch it.
Apparently, I listen to the reviews that Grace Randolph does because I find them humorous.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, Vanessa Kirby gets like ridiculously objectified. Like she compared it to, and this is one of the things that sold me on it, Wolf of Wall Street with Margot Robbie. And I was like, oh, I
think she also said White Lotus season 1 also.
Yeah, I was like,
wait, it's compared to Wolf of Wall Street?
No, the objectification of her is.
Yeah, then I don't want to go see this movie. I'm not into that stuff. I'm sorry.
It's just, I would imagine that just means level of nudity. I mean,
if it's just gonna be a bunch of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like I hated Wolf of Wall Street. I thought that was a shit movie. Like,
I mean,
there were some good scenes, but that's great. I mean, I hated the movie just like I probably would have hated Wall Street then. I mean,
yeah, I think the whole point was that you're not going to like Jordan Belfort because if he was being a dick.
Then why would I want to watch a movie about him?
Because it's an entertaining story. It's like watching Goodfellas. None of the stuff those guys were doing was good behavior.
Yeah, but it ended the right way because he did the right thing in the end. That's the only part of that movie that kind of redeems it for me.
Are you talking about Jordan Belfort with Wolf of Wall Street?
No.
Or Goodfellas, where he turned state's evidence?
Yeah.
I mean, well, I suppose. I mean, he was basically just doing that to save his own ass.
I mean, I don't deny that he was, but the reasoning is irrelevant to me at that point. Like, it was the right thing to do. Why he did it? Okay. He did it. That's what matters.
I don't. It's like, I mean, well, this is like saying when you're Christian and you don't actually genuinely seek forgiveness, guess what? You're not forgiven.
True sorrow produces change.
Yeah. But
it's also like saying, oh, well, you recorded all those wells you drilled in Africa, so you were just doing it for the money. Yeah, well, he still fucking did it.
Apparently,
why are you complaining?
Wolf of Wall Street autobiography was great. I think those are slightly different situations. With Goodfellas, the guy it was based on helped steal, rob, and murder people.
I'm not going to give you a perfect situation. What I'm telling you is the reason it was done does not matter. The fact that it was done is what mattered.
So you're gonna all right. So by that same logic, Sammy the Bull Gravano, when he turned state's evidence against, what's his name, the Teflon Don over there, Gotti, when he turned state's evidence against Gotti. He had killed, confirmed, over 24 people. And he only turned state's evidence to put the mafia boss, Gotti, in jail. And they let him go into witness protection. and not serve time in jail when he was the one who actually killed dozens of people.
Okay.
You're saying
they
that
offered him that deal,
yes.
and he took that deal.
Well, why wouldn't he have taken the deal at that point?
So he took that deal,
Uh-huh.
and he did the right thing. But you're saying it doesn't matter that he did the right thing because he took a deal?
I'm saying it wasn't, he didn't do the right thing because he morally was moved to be a righteous person and do the right thing. He wasn't
He was saving his own butt.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't Paul over here, like being converted.
I mean, do you know him? Have you met him and had conversations with him and asked him why he did it? Or are you just assuming, based on what you know about the guy, that that's why he did it?
I have watched a lot of interviews after, and he seems completely unrepentant about the murdering he did.
So you're a criminal psychology expert.
I'm an expert on watching a guy laugh about murdering people.
My point is, we should never bring in why a person did it when we pass judgment, because we don't fucking know why they did it. You may have a good idea. You may be right, but it's irrelevant to the judgment.
There's so many situations in life that if I applied that to, I feel like it would be a bad idea. But I respect what you're saying.
Why? Why do you think it's a bad idea?
Where you're just saying that that's ends justify the means.
Is it?
Yes.
Or is it, I'm not going to judge a person's actions based on why I think they did the actions. I'm just going to judge the actions based on the situation and the outcome. I'm not saying the end justifies the means. I'm saying that the motivation, if I don't know what the motivation is, I don't calculate it in.
But some actions,
I'm letting you guys fight this one out.
I would think you'd love this, Brahma. This is a very political discussion.
This is more moral and philosophical than political. But because I mean, you're saying that I'm trying to wrap my head around this, because the action someone takes, you judge solely by what the action is, not at all what motivated them to move into taking that action.
If I do not know what motivated them, and I can't prove what motivated them, it doesn't play into the calculus.
That's some Jordan Peterson advice. Don't listen to what they say, but judge the outcome of the results of what they do. You're talking about chaos. You're being an agent of chaos and not or an agent of order. I don't even know which one it would be.
Jeez. Well, I like chaos. I'm okay with chaos.
Were you what was your when you do D&D, where was your alignment? What was your favorite one to use?
Chaotic good.
Of course, chaotic. That makes sense. Yeah. I could see that.
Chaotic good or neutral good, which usually ended up becoming chaotic good when somebody did something that I just couldn't tolerate, and they were like, "That's the law here," and I'm like, "Well, then I don't care. I'm still gonna fuck these people up."
But did you judge them on why they were doing that?
What? No, because I could see the outcome. I was there.
He usually DM'd, so he was outcome focused. This is just, I'm trying to think of all the moral scenarios that you could create now. All right, so
yes, and yet you have not come up with one. You told me it's ends justify the means, and I'm like, yeah, but if it's a bad end, I still don't approve of it. I'm telling you that if it's a good end, the motivation doesn't matter to me.
Hitler killing himself.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Clearly, everybody in the world is okay with the result.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a fair thing to say at this point. I mean, everybody on the stream, yes.
Yeah.
But recent events would say maybe not.
That's true. All right. So, assuming that, so everyone in the stream agrees, that was a good end result. All the stuff that led him to make that decision all of the things that did that were no way good. So
So I'm supposed to say that him killing himself was a bad thing for him to do? Like,
yeah,
again,
I don't think this example works for you all that well, Chad.
No, all right.
What you're trying to get me to do is you're trying to get me to say, because of all the other things, this action is bad. But what I'm telling you is, no, all the other things have no bearing on this action. Like, you're trying to string them together like pearls.
Okay.
And it's like,
now,
leave it, take it in a vacuum. Was it a good thing or a bad thing?
all right. Well, how about
the rest of it is now play in.
All right, January 6th.
Okay.
We got people making plea deals.
Mm-hmm.
They're making plea deals specifically to get little to no jail time, but they got to throw everybody else in the country under the bus doing it, saying, admitting that they were insurrectionists, etc.
Okay.
I would say that most of us
they're being told to lie, is what you're telling me.
Essentially, but the outcome for them would be perceived as good.
Yeah, but they had to do a bad thing to get that outcome. They're not doing a good thing to get that outcome. They're doing a bad thing, Lil Chad. A bad thing. I don't approve of doing a bad thing.
So because all right, so the dividing line would be lying if you make a plea deal, because that is still continuing a bad action, even though the end result is good for the person.
Doing a bad thing, and it's not for a good outcome. It's for personal protection. Like the guy who was a hitman and then took a plea deal, and that plea deal led to them being able to take down a very powerful mob boss who probably would have ordered many, many more kills. That's a good outcome.
So, all right.
He didn't take a plea deal and then send an innocent man to prison by lying about him.
Yeah, just to confirm what Amelia Clark's scroll arm is saying. Yeah, all the January 6th footage has now been made available publicly, and it's shockingly, most of it is people politely walking through hallways.
We've known that since about January 7th.
More shockingly is some of the scenes where the Capitol Police are arresting people, putting them in handcuffs, then pulling them out of the crowd, taking them off to the side, out of view, uncuffing them and fist bumping them and celebrating. Like, hey, you FBI agents did it. You got it going.
Yeah.
The awesome ones joining us. Yo, Marvel Bros. Hail. Hee. Good for you. Thanks for joining us, awesome one. Glad to see you here.
The ruling in the Colorado case keeping Trump off the ballot came out too.
Yeah,
he's allowed on the ballot.
I don't think any of them are going to take him off the ballot. I do think that they're going to keep trying him in state courts to jam him up.
Here's the thing. The argument is that he can't be on the ballot because of his criminal activities, right? Which one has he been convicted of?
Well,
none of them that can keep you out of a presidency.
You can't fucking take someone off. You can't punish people or preclude people from our processes or revoke people's, rights as citizens without due process. If he hasn't been convicted of anything, there hasn't been due fucking process.
Well, here's the other fun thing that is a completely legal gray area because it's never had to be litigated. He was technically impeached for those specific actions and acquitted through the impeachment process that is laid out in the Constitution.
Yeah, the Senate never convicted, so he was never actually officially fully impeached.
No,
he was impeached.
Impeaches the indictment. Convicted. He wasn't convicted. But so the question would be, since the Constitution specifically lays that out as the way to,
remove a president, somebody in high office,
does this now attach double jeopardy to the president? Because he has gone through the process as described in the Constitution. The idea of now charging him again in the federal court system for the same crime.
Question.
And it's never, because Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton previously were the only two presidents ever impeached. They were both acquitted in the Senate, just like Trump was. and nobody brought them up on federal charges for the same crimes because it was ridiculous. Everybody knew you've done the impeachment. That was you're taking your shot.
Yeah.
You failed. You know that's what the Constitution had for it. It's interesting. Um, yep. And then we have a recent riot at the Capitol and Zero News. I can tell you that living in Northern Virginia, those kinds of things actually happen around Congress a lot, and it's pretty interesting because this disrupting a congressional activity that they're using to try to jam up these guys for 20 years in federal prison is not ever used for people who disrupt Supreme Court Supreme Court hearings, or you remember Code Pink famously constantly would go
Yeah.
into Congress during the early aughts and disrupt things. And
Well, you think a recent riot is bad? Did you hear what happened with the there? I guess there was a pro-Israeli demonstration. What was it, last
march?
weekend? Yeah. There was no riot. It was totally peaceful. Did you know that the city of Washington, D.C. Labeled that a Category 1 security threat? Which has never happened in the history of DC.
Well,
Like you got Summer of Love rioters ripping down fences and setting churches on fire, and that's not a Category 1 security threat. But a bunch of peaceful protesters are meandering about at the Capitol, and well, because of their ethnicity, I guess it was a Category 1 security threat, I believe is what they called it.
It may have been a Category 1 security threat to the people in the march.
Yeah, that's
that's one way you could look at it, is they had to have
I don't
elevated
think
threat
that's
level
why
because that's likely to happen. Not that the marchers were likely to do anything.
it's such a crazy double standard because
we live in the fucking upside down. We like everything is literally backwards from what it should be these days.
Yeah, notably, who is not at the march? Joe Biden. Even though he had the time and the ability to go, that would have deviated from his schedule of getting on a plane by a couple hours.
He must have forgot.
Well, you when you've got somebody who sundowns so often, you've got to really make sure you've got those medications proper to keep him focused for the 3 minutes at a time. You need to trot him out. Otherwise, he'll just start walking off somewhere.
I don't know why I was talking to the wife about this the other day, but I was like, and you know what? My inner conspiracy theorist was talking to me the other day, and I was thinking about that whole, they found the cocaine in the White House thing, and everybody's like, oh, well, obviously it's hundreds. And I'm like, I'm not so sure it was. Because if you ever notice that
gets Joe out of bed.
Every once in a while, Joe Biden comes out for a speech, and he is freaking hyped. I was like, that's why they wiped it clean. That's why they won't tell you who it belongs to.
Well, they're definitely giving him a cocktail.
Making medicine.
I don't even know. I mean, you got Lady Macbeth out there, hand puppeting him anytime she needs to. So,
yeah, I thought she was a teacher, but I guess they call her doctor because she's a proctologist.
Yeah, wasn't my favorite thing was years back. It was a couple years back was when on The View they were like, we can have Dr. Jill Biden, take over healthcare, and someone had to stop him and explain she's a PhD in like education, not medical, and because they just because she makes everyone call her doctor. The only people who make you call them doctor are assholes. Doctors don't, aren't who are good people aren't focused about that,
or that bitch from Patch Adams, but she got what she deserved.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. Okay, that was a mean joke.
Good night, I'm going to bed, Biden. Yeah, he says that at 9 a.m. That's the 9 a.m. quote from Joe Biden. Good night, I'm going to bed.
Like Fetterman starting the debate. Hello.
Oh my God. I was about to say, at least he hasn't gone so far as Fetterman. Hello. Good night.
Actually, I will respect that Fetterman is standing firmly behind Israel.
Do you Brahma, you
Okay,
might
I'll
have
give
been
you
paying
that.
attention old enough to remember when it was Perot was running in 92 and the vice president that he nominated to run with him opened up the vice presidential debate with, "Hello, why am I here?" It's just like it was like, and he just did it
All
in
right.
such a tone.
Here's the
I
thing.
definitely remember Perot. I don't remember the vice
Yeah.
presidential candidate.
I wasn't gonna talk about this because we generally stay away from the politics, but it's kind of a free play tonight, so I'm gonna get into the politics a little. I'm getting really tired of people talking shit about helping out Israel. And
Yeah.
the thing I keep hearing everybody say is, why do we even want to help them? Why should we give them money? Why should we support them? It doesn't matter. They don't do anything for us. What do we get out of this relationship? I'll tell you. What we get out of this relationship is access to some of the best pilots in the fucking world, because the Israelis, they're the best pilots in the world. It's not the Americans, it's not the Germans, it's not the British, it's the Israelis. We also give them all sorts of access to third generation military technology from America. They then update that shit, make it even better, and it becomes first generation technology, and we got free R&D because they give it right back to us.
Have you
So there
seen,
are
like,
plenty of reasons that we have a vested interest in our staunchest ally in Israel, other than the fact that they're our ally.
I would
Yes.
agree. And I mean, I think clearly the other thing is, I mean, not
Also,
we're
where do you
going
think we get
political,
most of our intelligence about the rest of the Middle East? So
Mossad.
not to mention,
everybody shut the fuck up about the Israel thing.
I was
There are
going to
plenty
also
of good
say,
reasons.
like, Israel produces some of the hottest women on the planet too. So it's worth defending as a country.
Now, that being said, I will agree with one thing that has been pointed out. I don't think Israel should be lobbying in DC. I don't think any country should be lobbying in DC, just like I don't think any corporation should be lobbying in DC. I don't think there should be lobbying.
Let's
But why would
see.
Israel stop if everybody else is still doing it too? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't think it should be done, but if I stop doing it, I instantly lose because everybody else is still doing it.
You know, it's funny because I was watching Culture Show before we started here, and he promoted our show by saying it's just a fun, good time on a Friday night.
Not
so,
tonight.
so
Apparently, we're
it's
doing a serious show tonight.
you know, all this talk about politics made me think of something that is, it's not politics, but it was a sad story, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but because you know, I think of Dana Carvey and I think of his George Bush impression, and you know how impactful that was for politics and pop culture, and his son passed away of a drug overdose this past week. It's just
Yep.
like pretty pretty sad. I mean, only 32 years old. I was like only 32. I would have thought, you know, because Dana Carvey had been around so long, I was like, I thought his kids would have been older. I was like, that's younger than I am. And I just, it's crazy to think that he had a 32-year-old son and that his 32-year-old son unfortunately passed away. And it's just such a big problem. I'm pretty sure um, that problem. I don't know if they released it, but I'm sure fentanyl may have been involved, which is you know, people don't want to talk about that. It's just so it is a problem that is just being exacerbated by the other decisions we're making on our border and our political stuff. And I don't know what kind of human toll we need to just keep letting happen before we take seriously these things and try to do something about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was prescription drugs or recreational drugs, so I'm not sure on this one.
They have scheduled, yeah, because it doesn't say which one yet. I mean, it's just like when Matthew Perry passed away, and they said it wasn't drugs didn't seem to be involved, but we did find prescription bottles nearby, and I was like, well, that's still a drug.
Right.
Like, it's not
Yeah,
it
it
may
may
not
not be
be
an illegal drug.
But as we know from so excuse me, from Michael Jackson and Prince, doctors will prescribe these celebrities perfectly
Heath
legal
Ledger.
drugs
Yep.
that, when taken in the that are in ways they're not meant for, will be just as deadly. So
He looks like a
was-
mix between Jonah Hill and his dad.
He looks very Jonah Hill, and I don't like it because
Oh,
Jonah
yeah,
Hill
that's-
kind of
He's
I
got
annoys
his
see that
dad's
now.
mouth, but he looks like Jonah Hill everywhere else.
It's just a sad thing. I mean, Dana, that was the best to, and I guess it's biased because that's the era I guess I grew up watching. I feel like that was the peak of Saturday Night Live. Was Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Dennis Miller,
I don't know if it was the peak, but
Kevin
it was
Nealon.
up there.
Adam Sandler, Chris
Adam
Farley, all
Sandler,
those
Will
Adam's-
Ferrell,
people.
Chris Farley was kind
Well-
of the peak for me.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Adam
agree.
Sandler was on that group. He had left by the time Will Ferrell and them got there. They were the next cast after.
Yeah.
Now, during the Great Clean Out.
Yeah, that's when after all those other guys left. I think the only one that stayed was Kevin Nealon a while for Weekend Update, and who was the other little schmucky guy who did
David Spade.
David Spade? Yep,
Dude, David Spade was my favorite.
I love
David
the
Spade
Babai
was my
sketch.
favorite if he was mixed with Chris Farley. Any other time, didn't
Yes,
really care for
this is-
Spade
this
all
is
that
very
much.
true.
Oh, the Babai sketch when they were where they were the flight attendants who just didn't care.
Bye bye.
Or when it was with Chris Farley when they were the Gap Jeans girls, it was Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, and David Spade as the girls working at Gap, and Chris Farley was like the manager, and I want your fries. It's like, oh, that stuff was hilarious.
Have a good
Sorry.
night's roll arm. Yeah, the fries thing. Leave me alone. I'm starving.
Yeah.
My favorite Chris Farley one was when he was at the restaurant and they gave him coffee, and then it was a commercial, and they're like, what he doesn't know is we've actually given him Folgers coffee or some shit. And then they come out and he's like, man, this coffee is really good. And then the guy comes out and goes, well, that's not the restaurant coffee you thought it was. It's actually Folgers. And he goes, you lied to me? And then he gets up and starts beating the crap out of them. Fighting all the waiters and everything. Oh, it was hilarious.
My favorite Farley was, it's actually a lost skit. I think it aired that night, and then I've never been able to find it again on anything. But it was Farley and a whole bunch of other people. Kevin Nealon was there. A whole bunch of the gals from the cast were there, and they're all dressed in prim and proper Quaker clothes and everything. And they're out on this frozen lake, and Chris Farley falls through the ice, and he's sitting there floundering around, and all they're all being prim and proper, like, oh, whatever shall we do? And Farley's just yelling at him, whatever shall we do? Save me, you stupid bitch. It was fantastic. But they're all being proper, and no real rush to do anything because they've got to kind of bureaucratically decide what to do. And he's just going completely off on them.
There's only one right answer for the greatest sketch Chris Farley was ever in.
Chippendales.
Chippendales.
You nailed it because I have the screen share ready because it was it was so perfect. Like when
the only
when
reason you guys are taking this guy has to be or aren't taking this guy is because his body's just so bad. Because those moves, man.
And the voiceover Patrick Swayze was like, he was incredible. Guys, like, there was
I'll
no
never
way
forget
Chris
Barney.
Farley, if he was still alive today, they could do another one where he was at a woman's stripper place and he was the one who got hired.
Yep.
That's true. It was the other ones that I always loved where he was the host of the cable access show who had the celebrities on. You remember when you were in
Yeah.
that movie? It was awesome.
I did that to Culture on one of Comics' streams a couple nights ago. Culture had not been, or maybe a week ago, he hadn't been saying a whole lot on the streams because he had been editing some stuff in the background for like a month. Like he was just popping in every now and then saying something and then popping back out and listening. And so he goes off on like this 5-6 minute rant, and it goes dead silent, and I go, you guys remember when Culture was quiet for that month? It was awesome. And of course, Culture just went with these are my friends.
It's think of how many great, like, I can't think of the last thing on Saturday Night Live that I actually saw or enjoyed.
I know exactly which one the last one was.
I enjoyed pretty easy because I go back and watch them every once in a while because they're still funny, but it's still from that era. Was when Will Ferrell did Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll take S words.
Those were always pretty funny.
I'll take swords
for 500.
Oh, the category is famous mothers. Ha ha! My day has finally come, Trebek.
It's.
Damn you and your daily doubles, Trebek.
When what is it? Norm Macdonald on there when he was Burt Reynolds. It's like, I'm wearing a big hat. Big hats are funny.
It's a funny hat.
Turd Ferguson. That's my name. I've got to ask you about the penis mightier. Will it really mighty my penis, man? You're sitting on a gold mine, Trebek.
All right, Brahma. Apparently, did you see what you missed last night? Culture was far filthier than talks. I thought I passed into a different dimension.
And I was there for the second hour, so I was watching in the first hour, or at least listening. But I was there for the second hour.
I mean, it's really hard to out filthy talks.
I'll take anal bum cover for 500, Alex.
That's an album cover.
Don't patronize me, Trebek. I know what it is. I spent the better part of my life trying to create the anal bum cover, and my only regret is I never did.
He's like, oh, this was a regular Jeopardy category. No, we're gonna take that right out. We're gonna say a word, any word. No, that is a number.
Daily Double. Is it iced tea? No. Well, then I have no idea.
The other funny part about that, it was rare to see Will Ferrell playing the straight character.
Yeah.
That's why I think I liked Old School so much, because as crazy as Will Ferrell's character is in that movie, he's actually a straight man for a lot of it, and then he explodes into his like over the top
Frank
stuff.
the Tank.
Yeah, like, but the part that
he's really good at that.
No, but the part that I love the best is when he's in the therapist office with his wife.
Yeah. No,
like,
I feel the same way about the other
we're
guy.
gonna, maybe we'll go to, we're gonna go to Home Depot, and maybe
that's, it's sad that that's so prophetic about how our lives are like now. It's like, oh yeah, I got a really big Saturday plan. Gonna go to Costco and then maybe hit the Olive Garden. Yeah.
Lots of plans. When he's telling the therapist, and then I see the waitress, and I start to wonder, what color underwear
what kind of underwear is she wearing?
I mean, odds are it's just basic white. I mean, and then the wife is just staring at him. He's like, "What? I thought this was supposed to be a safe place where I can just talk about these things." Because there is nothing like your wife just staring at you.
He does the same thing in the other guys. Like,
the other guys is so
he's the really straight lace and a normal guy until you find out that Gator's bitch was using Jimmy's.
Gator. That's
no. I mean,
the other guys is so underrated.
I set her up on dates, and then I would drive her to those dates, and I would wait and make sure nothing went wrong. Yeah, you were a pimp. No.
It was like you were a pimp with a stable of bitches. No, I was just there to. I did the math. I held the money.
Or the conversation he had with him when he's like, if I were a lion and you were a tuna, I would swim out into the middle of the ocean and eat you. Well, buddy,
And
you
Mark
just made the
Wahlberg
biggest mistake of your life.
and Mark Wahlberg when he like goes in to see his ballet dancer girlfriend and he starts doing all the pirouettes and things like, what you think I can't do this? And then the voice like I learned to do it in 3rd grade so I could own the sissy down the street.
So I could make fun of the drama kids, show them how gay they were.
It's just like, that movie. I went and saw it in the theater when it came out, and I hadn't laughed at a movie that hard in years. And I was like, how is this
Dude,
movie
that
not
movie
making so
got
much
me.
money?
That movie
When
got me because I saw it
when
on
The
shit,
Rock and
right?
Samuel L. Jackson jumped off the
Yes,
building.
I did not see that coming. And so like that one made me laugh out loud because it was just so unexpected.
Yeah, and then I think it's Ice-T who was doing the voiceover. He was like,
Yep.
no one knows what made them think they could jump off that building, and like and then he goes, I mean, seriously, it was like a 20-story building. They're crazy. What did they?
You thinking what I'm thinking? Aim for the bushes. And I kept thinking to myself when I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see any bushes. And then just and the music stopped. I was like, oh.
Your original
And-
question, though, Chad, the last time Saturday Night Live was funny, like recent, was 2016 election. The Saturday afterwards, when they had the skit where they had them all at an election party, and Dave Chappelle's there and a couple other guys.
Oh yeah,
and
it was Dave
like,
Chappelle and Chris Rock.
it just
they're
keeps
like-
showing it throughout the night, them getting more and more upset, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened in this country. And Dave Chappelle's like, what?
He's like, and then what is it? No, there's a lot of so and so in this state. They're not
Yeah.
going to do that. It's like, yeah. Let's just watch that. And it was because it was Chappelle and it was Chris Rock in that
Yeah.
sketch.
That was the last sketch that I ever found funny from Saturday Night Live, and I just happened to catch that one. I had already stopped watching it long.
I do
before
remember that one, and I give a lot of credit to Chappelle for getting that, because I feel like they would not have done that stuff when it wasn't Chappelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they got pissed off about his opening monologue. Apparently, that was not the opening monologue they thought he was going to do.
Oh, that was years later. That was when he
Yeah,
came
that was
in.
recent.
Yeah,
This was
that was
2016. This was like literally
okay.
the week after the election.
Okay, yeah, different time, I guess.
Yeah, but he did get in trouble for his most recent hosting appearance.
I've like. Let me.
It's funny. It's funny that you can. It's so weird to me. It's like, motherfucker just got you a lot of views. Like, everybody watched it, they loved it, they were entertained, which I thought was the goal here. And you're mad that he entertained them?
The message.
It's like the one thing Amazon had going for it as far as some of its original programming on the streaming service, Alpha House. I fucking love that show. And apparently that show did really well. But they canceled it anyway because they were worried that it was making too many people like Republicans.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, like John Goodman as this, crazy Republican hanging out with two other crazy Republicans, and they're the stories of all the stuff that they do as politicians. I was like, that was fucking hilarious. And it got good ratings, and they canceled it because they didn't like that it painted Republican senators in a positive light. I guess they thought everyone was going to hate John Goodman's character in that, and I'm like, you cast John Goodman. I mean, pretty likable dude.
Yeah, I mean, John Goodman. I remember. I mean, he always got a bad rap because he was so tied to Roseanne that people didn't think he was, an actor that could stand on his own. And I'm going to share the clip, but no audio, right?
Yeah.
I remember this.
It was
the
last good skit.
Yeah, you can, because this is the part, like right here. You can, oh, look, she's got Vermont. Oh snap! 3 electoral votes.
7:30.
Yeah, I I still remember, and I think most of us probably, who are in this sphere of YouTube, maybe too. In 2016, I was just watching it live, and the craziness as the and this feeling of mourning coming over the face of the anchors on all the on
Right.
CBS and
Oh, as the
ABC and
realization
NBC.
set in.
Yeah, and then I would flip over and I would be watching, because Crowder, was doing his live stream, and I was watching Crowder's live stream at the same time.
Yeah.
And Crowder, because I think he was popping in and out of the Daily Wire's stream at the same time,
Yeah,
and
back when
obviously
they still got along.
Ben Shapiro was not on Team Trump, and
He was on
they were
Trump
all
over Hillary, though.
yeah, maybe. I still don't. Anyway,
No. If you actually listen to Ben Shapiro, he didn't vote. He said
Yeah.
neither of the candidates met his standard for what needs to be president, so he didn't vote.
Right. He didn't
that-
vote, but he still
yeah,
would have
it's a bullshit.
preferred somebody other than Hillary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bullshit stance. I'm going to explain that to people. We are, you may not like that we're in a binary system of political, governance where you have to vote, where there's really only 2 candidates that legitimately have a chance to win. But we are. That's how it functions. So get off
A
your ass.
non-vote is a vote for the
Yeah.
other party.
Exactly. You're giving them anyway. That's why, and they run up the score specifically. I look at California where they're always like that. The margin of popular vote victory for the Democratic, because they always use that as the excuse, right? Like, we're the winners of the popular vote. And the margin is so high in California and New York specifically that they represent the margin of victory for the whole country. And it's because California Republican voters are so depressed that they don't go and vote. And so that number gets run up and allows them that narrative. It bothers
Yeah.
me.
In the certain states where there's no chance your state is going that way, people do abstain from voting in the presidential election because there's no point. So yeah.
And it's a go out and vote, and they're, well, I don't want to vote for the lesser of 2 evils. Yes, you absolutely need to.
Yes.
You
you
need
must
to
always choose the lesser of 2 evils.
Because right now we wouldn't have 20% inflation on everything if people hadn't.
No
well,
shit.
Yeah, we can't get into that too much.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, go.
I mean, we can. As far like when I was asked for topics tonight, I was like, free play? I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like talking about it every now and then. It's fun. Brahma, I don't think you get to talk about it as much on comics channels as they
just on
you
Wednesdays
guys now. Just on Wednesdays. Guys tend to stick mainly to the pop. I know you get movie watching assignments, which is always fun. I haven't.
He doesn't really assign it. He just says, "This is what we're talking about, so you might as well watch it because that's what we're talking about." So, I don't think comics would actually pull like a Gary and force us to watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, comics did get to go have a lovely mandate with Gary to go watch a movie, so that was good.
He got boberted by Gary.
Oh, that's too bad. I didn't realize comics was so buxom.
Small stature makes him look bigger.
That's true. Oh, you're gonna have to make that joke if you haven't already. He's like Charo from the Love Boat.
Right.
You're only 4'8", so it makes him look like Triple G. Oh,
I rarely hit on comics' height thing. It's low hanging fruit.
Oh, I'm glad you finished that sentence because I thought you were about to be like, I rarely hit on comics, but when I do, I make it count. Oh, I mean, so what do we like? With all these movies that got delayed, there's going to be a wasteland of content for the next month. I guess Disney's putting out Wish, which no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, I got news for you, man. Before the delays, we were already kind of in a wasteland of content. So
We were gonna have Dune at least.
Yeah, Dune would have been.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Ooh, Fathom Events is doing Saving Private Ryan's 25th anniversary. Cool.
It's already the 25th anniversary.
Came out in
Yeah,
98.
we're old.
Yeah.
You want it? That was the big. All right, so I am still to this day friggin' pissed off that Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture over friggin' Saving Private Ryan. Nobody cares about Shakespeare in Love now at all, but Saving Private Ryan is still talked about. Everybody still remembers watching the Omaha Beach scene.
Because it was good.
And well, it lingers. It matters. It's impactful. And I feel like that's something that should, people. It was such a piece of shit call. Godzilla -1 is calling out. That looks interesting.
Yeah, that'll be out next month. That's going to be really good, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, Slender?
Godzilla -1.
Oh,
trailers?
I think is it Toei that has the rights? So
Toho.
Toho. Do they knock you if you play the trailer?
I've seen people play the trailer. I don't think people have been getting hit for it.
Okay, cool. Because I think if you haven't seen it, Slender, they're taking the Godzilla. They're taking the Godzilla concept back to the 1950s origin.
It's right after the war.
Yeah, so right after the war.
Japan is already in ruins, and then Godzilla comes. It looks really good. Yes, I mean this is like a Godzilla, on drugs. It's pandemonium. Like this one is going to be like when his tail's moving around in the city, it's killing people, that kind of stuff, and they're showing it. So it's not going to be.
I kind of liked good guy Godzilla.
Guy in a rubber suit Godzilla. It's angry Godzilla.
Yeah, but I kind of liked good guy Godzilla. I enjoyed those movies.
Yeah, but it's also nice to see the actual dinosaur Godzilla type Godzilla too. Because you get so much Godzilla now. I mean, between the King of the Monsters version of Godzilla and then this, and then even Shin Godzilla was an interesting, weird take.
Shin Godzilla.
Did you guys see it?
I still like Mothra more than Godzilla.
All right, here.
That's sad.
No, it's because did you ever play the really old Nintendo Godzilla game where you had to move Godzilla across hexagons?
Yep.
Mothra was fucking beast in that game.
Yeah, but that's the only time Mothra is beast.
I know, but Mothra carried me through that game, and ever since I've always thought Mothra was pretty cool because I got into
every movie with Mothra. You've got to deal with the two tiny twins singing and all that kind of stuff. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. Slender, you try sharing because my system is not. I gotta
try and
get something that works. Yeah.
All right.
His computer not good.
Yeah, I'm working on options.
Let me turn off Elden Ring if I'm going to share something.
You son of a bitch!
You already finished Elden Ring. You should be playing Lies of P now.
I don't want to buy a game right now.
It's free on the Game Pass. We told you that last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Don't you start
Whoa, that was aggressive. Yeah, I did tell you.
What the fuck?
It's one of the few times I remember a conversation backstage.
All right. Is it there? Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. Now, do you have audio?
Nope.
Share my audio. This is why I don't usually end up being the one doing this. It didn't even ask me if I wanted to share audio.
It's a checkbox when you do the share tab.
When you click present.
Oh, son of a bitch. Let's try this again.
It's in the lower left-hand corner when you click present. It'll say, do you want to share your audio?
Yeah, it's checked. Oh, it was because I was doing an application window. Is that why?
Probably.
All right.
Share
so
it
I
as a
gotta do
tab or a entire
this
screen.
one. Okay. Now you should get the audio.
Yep. It's quiet, but we got it.
I've got it maxed out on volume.
Yeah.
I mean, but I just like this whole concept. It's gonna be so good. Love the Godzilla sounds.
Yep.
あいつの未来を守ってやりたい。
You know, Godzilla as a destroyer is still, is way
This
more
last-
entertaining.
Listen for the sound. There. He looks far more muscular in this version.
Yeah, the American version is definitely Fatzilla.
Yeah.
It's Lizzo-Zilla.
Ah, nice.
It's already out in Japan. And it comes out in like 2 weeks here, I think.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that one is going to be awesome. I mean, I think I could probably convince Slender to go out to a theater, have a beer, and watch that movie.
Dude, I was even gonna say my favorite part of that one Godzilla movie is when he lit up the the spines and then ripped that thing's mouth open and gave it the kiss of death by breathing right down its throat.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's pretty badass way to kill a giant monster.
Yeah, although that's still like Godzilla, that was the silliest thing. And when you have Ken Watanabe and he's speaking fine and being fine, and you go, Godzilla. It's like, come on. Don't do that to Ken Watanabe. Yeah, oh yeah, awesome one is right. I think we should trademark that, God Lizzo.
So Gray already got to see it. Well, yeah, he's in Japan, so that makes sense. Well, that's good that he enjoyed it. He's got pretty good taste in movies. Wakizashi's Tea House.
Looked pretty awesome to me. I would definitely go see that movie.
So we've got that. We've got Dune.
Yeah, Dune's coming out in March now, so they moved that up.
Yeah.
They moved it to
Yeah,
March,
but I
the
don't want to
beginning of
go
March.
see Dune in the theaters because that'll ruin my experience of the first one. I need to see that in a very specific place. I want to see it under the same conditions as the last one.
All right, you can come over and we can do it. Come to the theater room again where you can just enjoy. Yeah, so I think I've told you before, Brom. I have a theater room in my house that I built, 150-inch screen. And when that was when Warner Brothers was doing those day and date drops on HBO Max. And they were doing 4K Atmos, like they didn't restrict it. I'm a little annoyed they make you like pay extra for that now. I got Slender, and Bride of Slender was over as well. And of course, as we're watching Dune, Slender is like nitpicking the Thopter construction and how terrible for maintenance it would be.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love those things, but there are so many mechanical points of failure. And why would you bring that aircraft into a desert environment? That is the worst aircraft for a desert.
We're talking about a 10,000 years in the future setting where they can travel faster than the speed of light, and he doesn't
Yeah,
think they
well,
can
what
build
happened when they
something.
hit the sandstorm? Oh, that's right.
Actually,
they fucking
they-
crashed.
They actually don't travel faster than the speed of light. They just
They
hold space.
yes, full space.
They
Yeah,
don't even
That's
move.
true.
They make wormholes.
Ooh, Silent Night comes out December 1st. That'd be another good one to go see.
Yeah, that
That
one looked
is,
okay.
that's what's his name? The director, Guns Akimbo, Doves Flying,
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
John
But we
Woo.
all watched the
John
yeah,
Woo.
it's his yeah. We all watched the preview for that one. It looks like it'll be interesting.
Man, December is just a piece of shit, and month of nothing. Uh, like you normally Christmas time is a big Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, December 22nd.
That's annoying.
Yeah, that's not gonna. I don't, that, but that's weird. Like that's the only major release for the entire Wonka, which that is Timothy
That's-
Chalamet. I don't get, whatever.
That's them
Even
trying to
though
push wimpy little beta males on everybody.
even though he is technically playing Paul Atreides, so
Yeah, I don't agree
oh,
with that one either.
Oh,
He didn't do a
Ferrari.
bad job,
Mm.
but he's not what I would picture Paul.
Brahma, I gotta throw a little brag in too, because not only did I beat Elden Ring, but I made a mistake and accidentally locked myself into the Lord of Chaos ending.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't want to be the Lord of Chaos, so I had to beat Melania and Dragon Lord Placidusax as well.
Yep. Melania is a heck of a fight, depending on what kind of character you use.
If you're playing a spellcaster, you're fucked. Like it's just not gonna
No,
happen.
that's the easiest way.
Is it? 'Cause
Spellcaster, I never get hit in the fight as a spellcaster.
I did dual wield and it didn't work, so I switched out. And I two-handed the Godslayer's Greatsword, and
Yeah.
I had my Mimic Tier in the same setup, and like just beat the shit out of her in the first round as quick as or in the first phase as quick as I could, so that the tier, my Mimic Tier, still had plenty of health, and then second tier, I just backed off and started throwing black fireballs.
Yeah.
And
well, as a caster, once you get the moon spell, you just run away, throw the moon at her, run away, throw the moon at her. You don't have to do anything. It's easy.
Does that work in the second phase? Because she gets really aggressive.
Yeah. It works. You just gotta hope that your summon stays alive.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual kiting away doesn't work as well in the second phase, but you can still just nuke her down. You've just got it. I don't even summon the guy until the second phase. Right before the second phase starts, I summon him, so he's got full life to tank her, and I just finish off the second phase with spells.
But yeah, I finished it out with the Godslayer's Greatsword. That weapon's pretty good.
Well, I think you're gonna like Liza P. I've got 3 different characters going on it, each different build, and it's been enjoyable.
Oh, is it that? Like, there's builds and everything too?
It is the best Dark Souls game that it is not made by From Software.
Okay.
By far. It would be game of the year for me.
I just like to point out I've got some game streaming fans over here like Awesome One telling me we need more lagging little Chad gameplay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, go get Party Animals and me, you, and Mad can play it. Slender doesn't want to buy any games.
I'm wondering if my system might actually be able to handle Party Animals.
Dude,
It's
Liza
basic
P
enough
is
that it probably
$50.
could. Not on the Game Pass. Not
Party
unless they
Animals
just
I
took it
could
to,
probably swing. That's only 20.
yeah, $20. But it's only fun if you play it with a group of people.
Yeah, I figured.
It's like Mario Party. You don't pay that one by yourself.
Party Animals looks very much like Gang Beasts. Did you ever play Gang Beasts?
No, but my daughters said the same thing.
Yeah, it looks.
They said it's pretty much the same game.
All right.
I played it on Horty Elf stream last Sunday, and we had a pretty good time for 2 or 3 hours.
Nice.
Mad kept trying to gang up on me.
Mad, I don't know what would happen if we're actually in gameplay where Mad can attack us.
Oh well, I mean,
He'll
wasn't good
attack
at
you.
attacking us.
Yeah. All right, so I've been, as we've been talking, I've been perusing the like movie release schedule basically for the rest of next year, and it is shit. They really are fucked.
Well, that's what 2 strikes will do for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Are the strikes even over yet? Did they ever settle
Yeah.
it with the actors?
yeah, they're officially
Yeah,
over.
last
The
week.
act that's why they're all doing promotion stuff. And hey, remember that we looked? I think, did we look at that piece of shit Madam Web trailer last week too? Yeah.
We watched it on Wednesday.
Oh
I
no,
know
it was on
that.
Wednesday. We watched it.
We
That
did it over
movie-
on the dump.
Yeah, so it's opening February 14th, Valentine's Day, and the Bob Marley biopic is opening that same weekend. I am going to make a bold prediction that the Bob Marley biopic will actually outgross Madam Web.
That's actually not a bad idea. An all-female cast fighting a toxic white male on Valentine's Day. They're gonna get all the people who didn't get dates to come watch their movie. That's so cute.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
you mean for that
they
the
were saying-
Valentine's Day bullshit? They don't go
They
see
were
superhero
saying-
movies.
They were saying on FNT, yeah, it's going to be an hour and a half of this white dude beating up on these chicks. How is that?
Oh,
gonna
maybe I
play?
do want to go see it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Matt probably already bought his ticket.
where's our Yeti at for that one? You know, he might already have. Well, he might have gotten his like, our advanced tickets already on sale yet?
I mean, Sweeney's got a nice rack, so that'll make it somewhat
She
okay.
does, yeah, she does have a decent one, but they're gonna, they're not gonna let him out and look good. And I am sorry, but Dakota Johnson is just listless and has no presence.
She looks
She's-
like the drugged up, nastier version of Zooey Deschanel.
Well, I mean, her parents. She's one of those celebrities where you're getting some of the worst parts
Nepotism.
of both parents. I mean, yeah, you get Don Johnson as her dad, and you get Melanie Griffith as her mom. I mean, it's pure nepotism. And Melanie Griffith was kind of overrated, in my opinion, too, as an actress. She had Working Girl.
She was okay early. I was she in Milk Money? Is that
Yes,
her?
Milk Money was her.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
she looked
According
okay.
to the reviews, one review here, because it's got mixed reviews, and one is like, this game is cute, but no gang beasts. It has all these mini games and tasks. There is no local play, no split screen. So if you are like me and purchased it for that, do not.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we have to have a group to play it. Outside of that, I mean, you can play. You can't play local play, but you can just do quick play and jump into games with other people. But it's really
Ew, gross.
It's really for a whole bunch of people to get together and just have fun with it. It's one of those things that'll last for a month or two. So $10 a month for 2 months, and then we're probably done with it.
Yeah, that's
Did it on
probably
Gang
sounds about right.
Beasts.
Which is pretty cheap to be friends with Mad.
I mean, the problem is we're gonna buy the game. We're gonna all be ready to play the game, and that's when he'll move on from the game.
See,
Well,
What
then
you
we'll just
should have
join the
done.
Vets Talking guys and play with them
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
they've all got it.
what
the
you
Legion of
should have
Meanings.
done, Brahma, was picked up this game.
Are you sharing? Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
it?
It's Gang Beasts.
Oh.
It's the exact same fucking thing, except instead of little animals, you're just little people. And this game has been around for years and years and years.
Yeah, looks the same for the most
Yep.
part, but the shark jumped out of the water.
Yeah.
It jumped the shark. Yeah.
But I've had this for a long time. This game is one of my favorites.
Yeah, but Party Animals is the meta.
It's the meta. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the
Play
new
the meta.
big thing.
You
But,
can't. Those who try to play against the meta are doomed.
But yeah, this one's been around. It's got all sorts of. I love the elevator arena because you can get on top of the elevator and start punching the cables and make the elevator disconnect.
Nice.
I'm assuming Party Animals will release some more stuff too.
Probably.
But yeah, Party Animals has sports modes too. There's a hockey one, somewhat a basketball one, and a football one, and a soccer
Oh yeah,
one.
I only had to look at about 5 seconds of Party Animals and go, oh, they ripped off a different game.
Updated.
No, ripped off.
But yeah, the streams that I've done where I've played on it, yeah, chat sure seems to like it. Especially if you've got some competitive people.
Yeah.
Like the Legion guys weren't all that competitive. They were having fun with it, and I was super competitive.
I mean, I'm if I'm playing a game, I want to win. It's
Exactly.
why would you not want to win the game?
That's yeah, but that's the kind of game you don't want to get competitive in.
I mean,
Like
that's
Herm Edwards said,
you play to win the game. I was about to break out that same quote from.
Don't get me wrong. I will play to win those games if I'm playing them, but I just don't care because it's nonsense. There's no skill involved.
Now, here's a question since you're both parents as well. Did you get the lecture from your wife at any point about when you're not letting your child win the game? And I'm like, well, he's got to learn how to actually play it right. I don't go out of my way to run up the score, but I'm not going to just let him win.
No, I would never let my kids win.
I got lectured
why would I do
about. So I had two girls. We didn't really play sports games, but we would play like the new Super Mario Brothers. You know, the Marios that where you could have 3 or 4 people playing.
Yeah,
I would just get yelled at because they would all be floating in bubbles behind me because I would actually be beating the level, and I wouldn't go and pop their bubble to let them play with. You know, if they died, I was just like, nope, you made the mistake. And I just kept going, and I would actively dodge popping their bubble to let them free.
I had to.
I got yelled at for that one.
I had to stop playing a game called Ultimate Chicken Horse with my daughters because they were getting upset. Have you ever played that game?
Horse? No, never heard of it.
All right, we're gonna share this one next. All right, present. I don't think you need the volume for this, but you'll see.
When is Argyle coming out, Chad?
It comes. I was looking at Argyle comes out in the spring.
Okay, so we still got a little ways on that one.
Yeah, have you fallen down the rabbit hole about the theory that Taylor Swift is the writer?
I've heard that said. I haven't gone and looked into it.
This is Ultimate Chicken Horse. Basically, every round you have to platform across to the finish line. You know, the red flag, right? Mm-hmm. And every round, a box opens up, and you get to pick one item out of the box to place in there. Okay. And the goal is to make the level too hard for everyone else to beat, but you know, you can still beat it.
Looks like it plays like Meat Boy or like that other game that I had you guys. We showed it on this stream.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy.
Yeah, but you see everything that's getting placed because you're playing with other people. Like you see what they grab out of the box. And you see what they place. So everybody knows what's on the map. It's just a matter of you try to make it hard for them, but not hard for you, I guess. And, well, we grew up in the platform generation. I'm really good at platformer games. My daughters weren't quite as good at platformer games as I am. So they would get really, really frustrated that I would always win. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, surprisingly, my daughters are very good at like Fortnite and shooting games.
Yeah, my daughters are very good at that. One of my daughters has beat every boss in Hollow Knight, including Nightmare King Grim, which I've never beat Nightmare King Grim because I just didn't have the patience for it. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm done with this game.
Well,
I've
you're
already
lazy.
beat it.
If she liked Hollow Knight, did you guys ever get Salt and Sanctuary?
I've played Salt and Sanctuary. I don't know if
And
any
it's
of them
not
have. It's on the
it's not
Xbox, so
quite
they
the
could play
same
it.
as Hollow Knight, but it is a like another 2D Souls like game.
No, they. I don't think she's ever played Salt and Sanctuary. It's on there if she wants to, because I do have that on the Xbox. The last one she went through was she just went back and played Limbo. That was pretty fun.
I don't know that one.
You don't know Limbo?
Mm-mm.
Limbo is a pure platformer. It's not. There's
Okay.
like no fighting in the game. See if I can find. Sure, it's on Steam. Yeah, it's on Steam. I can. Did you ever see it inside?
No,
Okay, then. Yeah, you
my
would.
kids were old enough that I didn't have to.
All right, but this one's pretty easy. That and that and that, and share that, and boom. This is Limbo.
So an extremely updated Pitfall.
Yeah, in a way. And the ways this poor kid dies are gruesome.
Oh, I think I've seen clips of this.
But that was a pretty fun game. Fun little platformer.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember that one.
Yeah,
But
it's I don't even know how much it costs. I don't see a thing because I think I've already bought it. So
It's already in your Steam library.
yep.
Yeah. I'm wondering, are we ever going to get Hollow Knight 2? They've been kind of promising that for a couple
What,
of
Silk
years now.
Song?
Yeah.
If they were smart, they'd get it off of the Unity engine as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. I mean, the message boards are kind of like, don't know if they're even still doing anything.
I know they've been working on it. It's just that they're taking their damn sweet time. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hollow Knight Silk Song. Yeah, they still haven't even announced a release date.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a trailer.
Metroidvania stuff.
Like, they've got a trailer. There's a game there, clearly.
Yeah, it's just been forever. I mean, people are going to lose interest.
I don't know. It has a pretty loyal follower base. I mean, I've beat the game like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
This is
I've gone
really
back
fun.
I revisit it every now and then.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that I do come back and revisit from time to time because I really enjoy it.
Well, it's also one where 8 months later you can completely have forgotten the boss patterns, and it's almost like playing it again, just with a little bit higher skill level than the original playthrough.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun when you go back to a game like with whether it's through an emulator or the new digital libraries that all the game systems have, and it's one of the games from when you were a kid and you actually start like remembering the patterns. You're like, how do I remember all the patterns? Like I got Zelda, the first one, right? On Switch. And because it's included with the Nintendo Online. They have the old Nintendo games. And I'm playing it with my son, and I was like, all right, it's this and I think you've talked about, Ron, like when you take the candle, and like I was like, all right, it's this tree over, I'm doing this, I gotta go up here, do this, and I'm just remembering all the patterns. Like then you start doing the boss battles, and I'm remembering all that stuff, and it's just it's interesting. I was like, you wouldn't like
because your brain was softer.
I was like, I have no conscious recollection of these things at all. Like if I tried to remember it when I wasn't playing the game, I swear I wouldn't be able to. But when I've got the control and it's on the screen, it's like bam, it's like a muscle memory and it just comes back.
It's real fun to revisit Mike Tyson's Punch Out since that is just patterns.
Well,
Oh,
until
yeah,
you get
it's-
to Mike Tyson, then it's a mess.
Yeah, it's still a pattern. It's just a very, very quick pattern compared to all the others. The first minute and a half, every punch knocks you down. And he has a different timing than everybody else, so it feels completely awkward compared to the other fighters.
Oh yeah, like the Dancer of the Boreal Valley in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, but that
You
one
know
never
that's
really
why
bothered
everybody
me.
thought that was so hard, is because it's not a 4 count. It's I believe it's a 5 count for the moves.
Everything's delayed by a second. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is on a different rhythmic pattern.
Well, wait
Yeah,
till you try
so-
Lies of P, because it's all about. It's not really parrying; it's guarding, but you have to guard at the exact moment that it, to not take damage.
Oh, gross!
Right.
Are you trying to make me play a shield game?
No,
Slender
'cause
doesn't
you
use shields.
You don't use a shield. You use your weapon to block.
Dude, I went back and I equipped a shield just for you, Brahma, and I used it for about 5 minutes and was like, this sucks. I'd rather have another sword. And I got rid of the shield again.
She just,
Eh.
you know, you remember Signs? The movie with Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, I remember
Shyamalan before he went completely off the rails. And when they were talking, it was Joaquin Phoenix's character who had played minor league baseball, and he had like the record for the longest home runs and all this stuff. And they're like, "What? Why didn't you ever make it?" And he's like, "Cause." And then someone was like, "Cause his batting average was like 100."
Yeah.
He also led the league in strikeouts. And they'll look at him, and Joaquin Phoenix is just like, "It just felt wrong not to swing." It's like that's Slender's gameplay style. It's like it just feels wrong not to like have a sword and just be offense. It just feels wrong not to swing.
No, I don't like blocking. I prefer the rollout, man. I use the iframes.
Well, Lies of P, you can get through it by dodge rolling, but you're not going to get openings to attack that way.
Oh, are they
It's more
highly
like
aggressive?
Sekiro.
Okay. Oh, I never played
Yeah,
Sekiro. I
The
wanted
bosses
to.
are highly aggressive.
I missed Sekiro, and Sekiro and Bloodborne I've never got to.
This is more like, I mean, the gameplay is a little bit more like Bloodborne, but the fighting mechanics are a bit more like Sekiro and how to actually.
I mean, if it plays like
make the
Bloodborne, I'd
bosses
probably
easier.
like it, because I heard Bloodborne is the one where like you are encouraged to play more aggressive.
Yes, it's the fastest combat of Souls games.
And I like playing more aggressive. The problem with Bloodborne was it was on the PlayStation, and at the time I didn't have a PlayStation, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not getting a fucking PlayStation for this. I'm not getting a PlayStation for what essentially to me looked like, oh, so you made Dark Souls for the Sony. Okay, gotcha.
It was quite a bit different than Dark Souls. It is a Souls game, but it plays.
Yeah.
It feels
But-
a lot
but at the
different than
time-
a normal Souls game. Yeah.
Yeah, at the time it was like, okay, so Sony really wanted a Dark Souls they could call their own. That's I'll get around to it at some point if I ever get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Now I have one and I just never bothered. Because at that point Dark Souls 3 had come out. I was like, well, I want to play Dark Souls 3. I think it was Dark Souls 3.
Probably.
I mean, and that was that before you got sucked into Elden Ring?
Well, yeah, he
Oh,
just
yeah,
got
long
sucked into
before.
Elden Ring like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know. I just like bringing up how you're probably playing it right now. Oh, I know you're sharing things, so you had to turn it off.
I had to turn it off. Clever girl. Made me quit playing the game.
All of a sudden, Slender's way more focused and into the conversation.
I
He's
felt
not
like I was
just-
pretty focused and into the conversation already.
Well, we did actually hit a couple of topics that we don't usually go into, and it was fun. It's always nice to change the pace up.
Well, I
'Cause-
mean, we're gonna have to, because with the entertainment, coming down the pipe for the next couple of,
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
gonna have to
next
start
year-
talking about old entertainment.
we're gonna have to talk about
I'm-
something.
I'm a-okay with that. I know we did a fun like one of the most fun episodes I had in a while was when we did our retrospective on Kroll after I dragged Slender to watch it, and we got to talk about how he liked it, except he just couldn't stop noticing the fancy pants. that
That was the only thing. Like, I loved the movie, but man, oh man, did that guy have some fancy pants.
he did, and I realized because I had just picked up recently a copy of Dracula Dead and Loving It because it was super cheap, estate sale and things like that. And the one of the girls in that was the lead from Kroll, and I had never put it together because she didn't have the same voice, so it didn't because they dubbed
Oh,
over her
yeah.
voice for Kroll. It's like, oh, that is the same girl. It's just her
I'm trying to
voice
remember
sounds
who it
really
was.
different.
It wasn't Virginia Madsen, was it?
No, the one who did the voice was like she's like a character actor. Let's see. I don't even remember her name because I looked it up, but Lisbeth Davis is the name of the actress who actually played the
Okay.
lead. It was, but the character.
That one had Liam Neeson too, didn't it?
Yes, it had
He's like the bandit guy.
Yeah, he's the one who has all the wives.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what? What? We are not now officially old. You're pretty much officially old when you turn 30 nowadays.
Chad, why is the Plex server offline?
Because when I'm streaming,
You think you can run a Plex server and a stream at the same time?
Wait, you know what? I'm gonna try. Because Comcast just like 10 times my upload speed, so I think I'm actually gonna be able to do it. Let's check. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna turn Plex back on.